Hello everybody! Thanks for tuning into my YouTube channel. So today I decided to do a time-lapse video of a set of Dreamcatchers I'm working on right now. There will be 25 total in the series and they're all for sale in my Etsy shop. I do have a link to my shop on my Instagram page and on my Facebook page if you would like to go and check that out as well. So the first thing I did was figure out where my rings would be placed on this. And I used my protractor to put them on there because I can't draw a perfect circle. And then I went ahead and penciled out everything that I wanted to put in there, my feathers and where I wanted to place everything. And then I went ahead and used a liner to line it out. I used a 0.05 Copic multi-liner pen. I do a fine outline of how I want everything to be, and then I color it in, and then I go ahead and go back and do it with heavier line pens after I've gotten everything done with the coloring. So once I get my outline done, I go ahead and erase all of the pencil off of the paper. That way I don't accidentally marker over that or paint over that, and make sure I get it all off. And I'm starting with some watercolor. I'm using the Kuretake watercolors that I got. The previous video I did a short video on just a little color swatch of them. In my previous video, I said the name wrong. I called them Kuretake, and that was wrong. So Kuretake, I'm pretty sure is how they're pronounced. And I like them. They work pretty good. I didn't have any problems with them. The color picked up well. It was easy to use and it was easy to blend, and then when I was done with it and it was all dried, I didn't have any kind of problems going over it with my liners. I was kind of worried that if I would have some issues with the liners getting gummed up or anything, but they did really good drawing over them too, so there was no problems with that either, which I was happy about. And basically what I had in mind for this piece was I kind of wanted it to look like a crescent moon, and inside the moon a space scene. So what I did was I put down the color that I wanted to put in, and I also put down a little bit of a metallic watercolor. And then once that dried, I went ahead and did like a black wash over it with some ink, black ink, and I put salt over the top of that, and it kind of separated the ink, and you kind of see through to the color underneath, and it gives a little bit of that space scene. While I was letting the watercolor dry on that, I went ahead and used my Copic markers to give a little bit of a background color to it. I used the C4 and the C6 to do the gray color in the background. I just did like a stippling effect. And then I used a Prismacolor Premier marker to do the black tips on the white feathers, and that also didn't have any problems going over the watercolor. Then once I was finished doing the little tips in the marker on the feathers, I went ahead and started filling in the finer details that I wanted into the feathers, doing the thicker lines on the edges and stuff like that. I used a Pentel brush pen to do the straps that hang off the Dreamcatcher, and also to do the rings in the Dreamcatcher. Once I finish with the detail in the feathers, I go ahead and I start adding some of the metallic watercolor. I put a little bit in the blue, and I also use some gold metallic in the rings. I use the Calero Gold watercolor, and I used one of the Calero Golds. I think it was a silver watercolor for the blue that I put in the blue. And then once I'm done with the watercolor, I go ahead and I start adding my ink. I use a silver ink with the inside of the Dreamcatcher and on the feathers, and then I use gold ink to do the rings on the Dreamcatcher and the straps that hang from the Dreamcatcher. And then once I'm all done with that, I will go ahead and start adding the Swarovski crystals to it. I just use the ink to add the Swarovski crystals. It seems to work really well. You can buy adhesives for it. They did sell different kinds at Michael's, but I just used the ink, and it's Dr.Phil Martin's ink, and I haven't had any fall off yet. They seem to hold really well. So I want to thank everybody for coming and watching this video. I'm sorry if it's a little choppy or sounds a little funny. Still getting used to the editing part of this and talking part of it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you want to leave any comments you can. And I'm still trying to reach my 100 subscriber mark so that I can get a URL. So if you haven't subscribed to my page and you wouldn't mind doing so, you can go ahead and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. So now I'm finishing it up. I'm just doing a little bit of a border around the edge, and I think I'm all done with it, but there is one little spot that I missed that I'm going to finish up in just a second. So I want to thank everybody for watching this video. I really appreciate it, and you guys have a great night. Bye!